Shalom Aleichem, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakadash, Barakatham, double honors and salutations to the elders and apostles, group Mr. Rule Well, and to the Akim and Akwaf, throughout the four corners of the earth, holding on to the testament of the Lord Mashiach Yahushai in this dark days and times. You just have to acknowledge that the prophecy about the world economy coming to a grinding halt is going to be a major factor in causing the upheaval of the people. All right, so it's going to lead to a lot of civil unrest. All right, and then I just read this precept real quick. So the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 12 verse 4, it says, "And the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low." So the business economy is going to experience a huge blow. All right, so a lot of businesses will not be able to function, so they're gonna have to shut down. Only the big mega corporations will be able to stay afloat because they've got the capacity, they've got the monopoly on the market. So competition is nothing to them. All right, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. So a lot of people are not going to have the resources to go for entertainments anymore. All this going to concerts, going to live shows, going to bars to have a good times, and all that karaoke stuff. It's going to be out of here. All right, so a lot of folks are just going to wake up in the morning, the alarm clock going off, but not a place to go because that jobs have been shut down. So what that's going to lead to is there's going to be an explosion on the so-called roster for public assistance. So a lot of people are going to be depending on the government for handouts. All right, so expect that, and that's what you call a transfer of power. All right, so it's going to be crazy for a lot of people, man. The so-called entertainment industry is going to experience a lot of it's going to be in free fall, and that's why you got to read this precept from the book of Isaiah chapter 24 verse 11. "There is a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone." What else, man? What else can you say? When the economy goes and the poor people, the middle class, are priced out by all these inflationary tactics, and their wages can no longer keep up, and they're facing the economic pressure pushed down on them by the super elites, they're just going to cave in on themselves, man. All right, and they're going to have to make a choice of how to spend whatever they have left, and whatever so-called universal basic income they're going to get from the government, they're going to be, highly restricted on how they spend that's how I say it, man. That stream of cash. Yeah, so it's gonna be bitter for a lot of people. All right. So let me just go ahead and play this video, man. Some more than 10 years ago about this conflict between Russia and Ukraine. how the West was using Ukraine as a bargaining chip against Russia. Because your memory serves you well. This was before Obama left office, man. They've been scheming on how to flip Ukraine to, in their favor, and it didn't go as planned, but they achieved certain goals. All right.
As Russia and Ukraine continue arguing over gas shipments, European countries are calling for the gas flow to be restored after enduring a week of freezing weather without Russian gas. In a meeting with his Bulgarian and Slovakian counterparts, Russian Prime Minister Vladimir Putin said Russia is doing its best to resume gas supplies to Europe that flow through Ukraine's pipelines. Putin blamed Ukraine for stopping the transit.
What matters is that we opened the tap and are ready to supply gas. But on the Ukrainian side, the tap is closed and no gas is being transported. No.
Yeah, so yeah, man, that's how it is, man. That's how it is. That's the trying to play hardball so they could get negotiations and get deals to favor them, because Russia's wants to gain influence too on the global stage, and Ukraine want to have a seat at the table, but Russia wants to limit their capabilities, because that would be allowing your so-called neighbor to be a stumbling block toward the moves you want to make. If you got certain big moves that that are going to be beneficial to you, you don't want all that adversity or obstacles, man. You want a smooth transition. But Ukraine has been an obstacle towards Russia's influence in the West. Businesses got to make money. So when a small country like Ukraine, that's in between the East, I say the Eastern power of Russia and the EU, that becomes a serious issue, because they have a pipeline that goes through Ukraine from Russia to Europe. So you can imagine what Ukraine had been doing back then, and they just turned off that pipeline now. So Russia is going to have to think of other options of what they're going to do as per their inventory. All right, and the EU have to go find other sources, man. With the exception of some other countries in the EU, especially Hungary. Hungary is in a tight spot. They can't really do without Russia's energy, supply. So it's going to be a tough one.
No transit country has a right to abuse its transit situation and speculate on it to take European customers hostage.
For its part, Kiev is blaming Moscow, saying Russia has provided so little gas there is not enough pressure in the pipelines to pump it. Yulia Tymoshenko, Ukrainian Prime Minister.
Ukraine did not halt Russian gas transit to Europe. This was done unilaterally by the Russian Federation. And as soon as Russia resumes gas supplies for the European Union, Ukraine, without a doubt, will fulfill transit.
Russia has a dispute with Ukraine is nothing more than about prices. It wants Ukraine to pay $450 for 1,000 cubic meters of gas this year, more than double the price than last year. Ukraine, which is struggling through an economic crisis, says it cannot afford that. Similar supply interruptions of gas first occurred in January 2006, when price disagreements were not settled on time. Some analysts in Moscow say the conflict is not just about money. Yevgeny Volk heads the Moscow office of the Heritage Foundation, a conservative think tank based in Washington.
I believe that the gas conflict between Russia and Ukraine, which received very strong international repercussions, is not just an economic or financial crisis. It's a deep political crisis.
Yes, old heads like this, they understand what's going on. So you just got to dig up the old videos, as per what these think tanks have been up to. So This clip is from Voice of America. That's one of the so-called arms of Esau's power structure, to push their agenda, because I believe they can't really broadcast news in the United States as perhaps a station, to be broadcasting, internally as per American issues and all that stuff at home, because they are heavily dealing with propaganda. Their goal is to put the face of America, towards the world, you know. So that's just one of the issues you have to be aware of. Yeah, because certain information they're going to push out there is not going to be perfect, for you to get a better understanding. All right, so it's got to be projected towards the world. So that's exactly what that goal is.
Which reflects the difference of interests between Russia and Ukraine, and in a larger context between Russia and Europe in general.
Russia shut off Ukraine's domestic supply on January 1st, and then gas supplies to Europe a week later. It did so after accusing Kiev of stealing gas meant for other European customers, a claim Ukraine denied. 18 countries across Europe have been hit by the shutdown of Russian gas. And with hundreds of thousands of people left without heat in the middle of the winter, the Russia-EU relationship is undergoing a chill as well.
It certainly provoked great damage to the negotiations between Russia and the European Union.
Yep. So I just pulled this up from Google. I'm looking at this on my other phone. So it says, under U.S. law, Voice of America is not permitted to distribute in the United States content produced prior to July 2nd, 2013. However, copies of this content may be available through the National Archives and Records Administration. So now you know. Something is going on. Yeah, so you just have to, take the news with a grain of salt. This geopolitics stuff is no joke. So you have to, do a research a little bit here and there, because you don't want no brain aneurysm. You don't want no headache, man, because there's so much information to pour over. All right, but you just separate the meat from the bones, and that's about it. Get straight to the point.
Of the so-called strategic partnership. Last year, after the conflict between Georgia and Russia, these negotiations were suspended, and they were resumed after almost half a year with great difficulties. And now I believe once again these negotiations are jeopardized by Russian position in this conflict with Ukraine.
And with Moscow insisting that gas is flowing from Russia to Ukraine for export, and Kiev saying it is technically unable to pass it on to its neighbors, negotiations between the two former Soviet allies may have reached a dead end. Anya Ardayeva for VOA News.
Yep, so that's reached a so-called dead end now, because Ukraine has basically shut off the supply of Russian gas to Europe. So there is no big surprise there. So that's going to cause a lot of pain and suffering in the economy. All right, the prices of goods gonna go up, and that's exactly what the WE Forum wants. The World Economic Forum. That's what they want. They want more people to get towards the bottom, man. They want to devalue the standard of living of the people and make their cost of living to be out of reach. All right, for their say the quality of life, don't want it to go down. So you just understand, it's part of what you call decarbonization. So only the super elites will be able to afford exorbitant prices. All right. So we're gonna push the price of a barrel of oil higher and higher and higher. So that's gonna cascade, or let me say, it's gonna affect the prices of goods and services. All right. So it's gonna affect law enforcement too. It's gonna affect all these medical facilities. So it's going to be hard. It's going to put a lot of strain on resources at the local, state, and national level. All right. So that's the point that I can, this power play is no joke. But the Lord has already said that the elect are going to come out of this, man. Because who else can we look forward to? So when you read the book of Psalms chapter 44, verse 26, it says, "Arise for our help, and redeem us for thy mercy's sake." All right. So apparatus, just do a quick Lashawan Kodash prayer. For Psalms 44, verse 26, "Arise for our help, and redeem us for thy mercy's sake." All right. So just got to pray the Lord delivers us, man. Is it Kwawama, Isatha, Lanawar, Wapadanawar, La Ma'ain, Kasad Ka. All right. So arise, O Lord, for our help, and redeem us for thy mercy's sake. Bashim Avishai, Bashim Kakadash, Shalom.